let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
And thank you, President Roosevelt, FDR, for that rousing call to action from back in the day. I'm Dennis Hudson at orangequant.com with your S&P 500 forecast for this week, starting the 21st of December 2009. And as you can see, the forecast made Friday night has proved true. If you go and you look at the link to that forecast below, you'll see that that we gapped up today and actually banged up against that green trend line there. The S&P has now chosen the orange trend line right here. That's a synthetic trend line, which is explained elsewhere. And it appears it will not follow the pink trend line. We are looking at probably another 3 days, at least, of oscillating around this orange trend line. I think the bias will be, for the next 3 or 4 days, that it's going to be above that orange trend line. So we hit it again with H205 and synthetic trend lines. You can learn about that in the FLIR 2 book. And I just thought you might like to hear the rest of that speech, or a related speech from FDR. So I'm going to use the remaining time to give you some of that. Thank you again. I'm Dennis Hudson, orangequant.com. And it's interesting to compare that speech with what's been going on the last couple of years. Here we go. And this will go on for about 3 more minutes.
More liberal provision has been made for banks to borrow on these assets at the Reserve Banks, and more liberal provision has also been made for issuing currency on the security of these good assets. This currency is not fiat currency. It is issued only on adequate security, and every good bank has an abundance of such security. One more point before I close. There will be, of course, some banks unable to reopen without being reorganized. The new law allows the government to assist in making these reorganizations quickly and effectively, and even allows the government to subscribe to at least a part of any new capital that may be required. I hope you can see, my friends, from this essential recital of what your government is doing, that there is nothing complex, nothing radical in the process. We have had a bad banking situation. Some of our bankers had shown themselves either incompetent or dishonest in their handling of the people's funds. They had used the money entrusted to them in speculations and unwise loans. This was, of course, not true in the vast majority of our banks, but it was true in enough of them to shock the people of the United States for a time into a sense of insecurity, and to put them into a frame of mind where they did not differentiate, but seemed to assume that the acts of a comparative few had tainted them all. And so it became the government's job to straighten out this situation, and to do it as quickly as possible, and that job is being performed. I do not promise you that every bank will be reopened, or that individual losses will not be suffered. But there will be no losses that possibly could be avoided, and there would have been more and greater losses had we continued to drift. I can even promise you salvation for some at least of the sorely pressed banks. We shall be engaged not merely in reopening sound banks, but in the creation of more sound banks through reorganization. It has been wonderful to me to catch the note of confidence from all over the country. I can never be sufficiently grateful to the people for the loyal support that they have given me in their acceptance of the judgment that has dictated our course, even though all our processes may not have seemed clear to them. After all, there is an element in the readjustment of our financial system more important than currency, more important than gold, and that is the confidence of the people themselves. confidence and courage are the essentials of success in carrying out our plan. You people must have faith. You must not be stampeded by rumors or guesses. Let us unite in banishing fear. We have provided the machinery to restore our financial system, and it is up to you to support and make it work. It is your problem, my friends, your problem no less than it is mine. Together, we cannot fail.
I just can't resist interrupting. Like the man said, rally round the flag, boys. This is your problem. Meanwhile, watch your back and tie your camel. Because after all,
let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.